Welcome back students. So today we'll discuss some more problems related to the same topic, that is the continuity of a function. So before actually going into the problems, we'll just revise what do you mean by the continuous function, because as I told you earlier, that definition is very important. Okay, so what is the definition? So you know how to find the continuity at a point. So if we can check at particular point, then we can generalize it. Correct. So what we have to do basically, we have to take a point, correct? We have to take a random point, say C, and we have to check the three conditions. Suppose you have the function defined to be f of x, you have to check three conditions. So what are these three conditions? It is nothing but you have to check whether f of c exists. Now what do you mean by f of c exists? You have to check whether it is a finite value or not. If it is a finite value, then we can definitely say that the first condition is satisfied. Okay, then what you have to do? You have to check for the second condition. What is the second condition? Limit f of x as x tends to c exist or not. Here also exist means you have to check whatever the value you get after applying the limiting as x tends to c. If you get it to be a finite value, then you can say that this particular limit exists. Okay, once these two conditions are satisfied, you have to go for the third condition. So what is the third condition? Third condition is limiting value as x tends to c, limiting value of f of x as x tends to c should be equal to f of c. Okay, so if all these three conditions are satisfied, then we say that that particular function is continuous at c. Okay, so when you have to prove for a general domain, entirely you have to check in, which means you have to check at each and every point. But checking at each and every point will be a tedious work, right? It will take lots of time, lots of effort. So we'll do things in a quick manner. So what we'll do, generally we take a random number, which means ಅಂದಾಜಿಗೆ ಒಂದು number ತಗೊಳ್ಳುವಂಥದ್ದು. If it satisfies for that, then we generalize the result that the function is continuous everywhere. Okay, if we get it is not continuous at a particular point, we'll say it is not continuous at this particular point, but rest everywhere it is continuous. Okay, so this is how we check for the continuity. I hope you remember the definition. So we'll move on to the problems again. So today's problem will start with the function f of x is equal to mod x. So this is nothing but the modulus function. So before actually going into the theoretical way of proving a function is continuous or not, we'll see the graph. Just by looking at the graph also, we can say whether a function is continuous or not. How can we say by looking at a graph whether a function is continuous or not? Do you remember that? I had told you. So if graph is continuous, that is if there is no jump or if there is no breakage in the graph, or if when I draw the graph, if I don't have to lift the pen, then you can say that such kind of functions are continuous. Just by looking at the graph, you can say whether a function is continuous or not. Now all of you know the domain and range of continuous function. So what is the domain and range of continuous function? Modulus function is mod x, and it is defined from set of reals. So after modulus, the answer whatever we'll get will be a positive real number. So it goes to positive real number including 0. Correct? We'll get all the positive real numbers including 0. So I hope you remember the definition also. Definition of the function is f of x is equal to mod x is defined as, how it is defined? This is x if x is greater than or equal to 0. What do you mean by it is equal to x if x is greater than or equal to 0? X greater than or equal to 0 means the values are always positive. So if the entries are positive, then you don't have to change anything. You have to write the same value. Okay, and it is minus x if x is less than 0. So what do you mean by if it is minus x? So if x less than 0 means you are taking negative values, but modulus makes even negative value positive. So we are defining it as minus x. Already x is negative, so negative into negative becomes a positive value. And you know the graph also. The graph is something like this. You get the graph to be in this shape, V shape, correct? You get the graph in this shape. So you can see this. Just by looking at the graph only, you can conclude that this is the continuous function because I don't have to lift a pen anywhere, and you can see there is no breakage. It is a continuous function. So this is how you can just make out whether the function is continuous or not. Now you have to prove it, right? You have to prove it using the definition whatever we know about a continuous function. So for that, what we'll do is we'll first write the definition of the this modulus function. So what is the definition of the modulus function? They are given f of x is equal to mod x. So but we know mod x is defined as it is x if x is greater than or equal to 0, and it is minus x if x is less than 0. Correct? So this is the definition we know. Now here if you see at the 0, okay, so if you see, if it is greater than 0, it is always x. If it is less than 0, it is minus x, and near to 0 you have two values. So basically you have to check, or you have to divide this function into three cases. So the first case is case 1. So the first case is, what is the first case? Let c be greater than 0 be any real. Okay, so you're taking any real number, any finite real number you're taking which is greater than 0. So this is the first case. So you're taking a real number which is greater than 0 and which is finite. Okay, so what you have to do for this particular C, check the definition of the continuity. So what is the first thing you have to check? Whether f of c exists. Okay, the first thing is whether f of c exists. Second thing is limit of f of x as x tends to c exist. Okay, and third thing you have to see is whether both are equal, that is limit of f of x as x tends to c is equal to f of c. Okay, these are the three things which you have to check. Correct? So these are the three things which you have to remember to check. So case 1, c is greater than 0. Then what is f of c? So we know that if x is greater than 0, according to the definition of the modulus function, f of x is x itself. So what is f of c? F of c is c. Okay. Now, so this is, since c is a finite value, definitely this exists. Now you go for the second condition. You have to check the limit. So limit of f of x as x tends to c. Okay. So that is limit of, so when c is greater than 0, when your x is greater than 0, the function f of x is defined as x itself. So here in place of f of x, we can replace it by x. Okay, as x tends to c. So that is equal to c itself. Clearly this exists because whatever the c value we have taken, it is a finite value, and we know that limit of a finite value exists. Okay, so that becomes c. So you can see that first condition is verified, second condition is verified. Automatically from 1 and 2, okay, from 1 and 2 you can see that the third condition is also verified. Correct? From 1 and 2, what you can see, f of c is equal to limit of f of x as x tends to c. Okay, so now for any c greater than 0, for any real number which is greater than 0, the given function, that is f of x, is continuous. Okay, for x greater than 0, for any x greater than 0, f of x is continuous. So this was the first case. So what is the second case? Second case is, if you have taken c greater than 0, obviously the second case will be, you have to check for c less than 0. Okay, so we'll check that for c less than 0. So again we have to take a value. We have to take a value which is less than 0, a finite real number. Randomly we have to choose a finite real number which is less than 0, and then we have to check the definition of the continuity. That is whether the function is continuous at that particular point or not. Okay, so what we'll do, we'll take a random real number. Okay, so case 2. What is case 2? Case 2. let C less than 0 be any real. Okay, you are randomly picking a real number which is a finite number. So C is less than 0. So now we have to check again these three conditions, that is whether f of C exists, limit of f of x as x tends to C exists, and limit of f of x as x tends to C is equal to f of C. Okay, so we know that if we take any real number which is less than 0, then the given function is defined as minus x. Okay, so first we have to see what is f of C. So what is f of C? F of C is nothing but minus C, correct? F of C is nothing but minus C, because C is less than 0, and if the real number is less than 0, the function is defined as f of x is equal to minus x. Okay, then next, so the first condition exists or it is true. Why? Because we have taken a real number which is finite. So C is finite. So that into a negative value, again it will be a finite number. Okay, so the first condition is verified. Next, what we have to do? We have to go for the second condition. Okay, so what is the second condition? Limit f of x as x tends to C exist or not. So that is limit. So here you can see, since C is less than 0, how we will define f of x? If x is less than 0, f of x is minus x. So in place of f of x, what you have to do? You have to replace it by minus x. So as x tends to C. So that is nothing but minus C. Again this exists because this is a finite value. This particular limit also exists because minus C is a finite value. Already C is a finite value. So for that, if you are multiplying by minus 1, again you will get a finite value itself. So this also exists. So we have proved, we have verified the first two steps. So from 1 and 2, what we can see, both are equal. So limit of f of x as x tends to C is equal to f of C. So the given function is continuous if your real number is less than 0. Okay, the given function is continuous if your real number is less than 0. Okay, so we are done with two cases. Now what might be the third case, students? So you can generalize it as for any real x less than 0, the function is continuous. Okay, so what might be the third case? We have done x greater than 0. We have done x less than 0. So what will be the third case? Where the value changes, x greater than 0 is done, x less than 0 is done. What might be the third case, students? Think about it. What might be the third case by looking at the definition of modulus function? What might be the third case, students? Okay, so what is the definition of the function? F of x is equal to mod x is x if x is greater than or equal to 0 minus x if x is less than 0. So you can see that there is something called as 0. Okay, so if it is a point greater than 0, it becomes x, and if it is a point less than 0, then it becomes minus x. So we have to check the continuity at x is equal to 0. So this is how you check a continuity for a function defined in this way. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಯಾವ ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗಿ you have to check. Okay, at that particular point you have to check. Suppose here it was 1, then you should have checked at 1. If it was 2, then you should have checked at 2. So here we have at 0. Okay, so the value of the function differs immediately next to 0 and immediately preceding to 0. Correct? So you have to check at x is equal to 0. So our case 3 is nothing but at x is equal to 0. So at x is equal to 0, you have to check. So obviously what is f of 0 then? F of 0 is 0 because if x is greater than or equal to 0, f of x is x itself. So it is here we have 0. 0 is a definite value. So the first condition is done. Now go for the second condition. But before going into the second condition, you can see that the value changes immediately to the right of the 0, also to the left of the 0, correct? You can see a changes over here. So what you have to do, you have to check the left hand limit and right hand limit, and you have to check whether both are equal. If both are equal, then we can say that limit exists. Why? Because immediately to the right the value is x, and immediately to the left of 0 the value is minus x. Right means greater than 0 and left means less than 0. So to the left of 0 it is minus x, and to the right of 0 it is x. So in a way 0 is the deciding factor. Okay, so you have to find what is the left hand limit as x tends to 0 from the left. So limit of f of x as x tends to the 0 from left. So that is limit of, so from left means obviously the value is less than 0, which means you have to take some value minus 0 0.5, oh sorry, 99999 something this volume. So obviously it is less than 0. So if it is less than 0, what happens to f of x? F of x is minus x as x tends to 0 from the left. Okay, so that is nothing but since we know that this is nothing but is equal to 0 itself. Okay, you have to just apply the value. Next you find what is right hand limit. So right hand limit is limit f of x as x tends to 0 from the right. So that is limit of, so from the right means obviously the value of value is greater than 0. So when it is greater than 0, f of x is nothing but x itself. So it is x as x tends to 0 from the right. Okay, correct. 0 ginta one swalpa jasti adru the value of the function is defined as f of x is equal to x. So this becomes 0 itself. So you can see that left hand limit and right hand limit are both equal. So what does that mean? If left hand limit and right hand limit are equal, what does that mean, students? It means limit exists. So what is the limiting value as x tends to 0? It is nothing but 0. And 0 is a finite value, so this limit exists. Okay, so both the conditions, first two conditions are satisfied. So you have to check for the third. You can see that both the values are equal. So limit of f of x as x tends to 0 is equal to f of 0. Correct? So even the third condition is verified. So the given function is even continuous at x is equal to 0. So in general, from case 1 we got the function is continuous at every real number which is greater than 0. From the second condition, second case we got that the given function is continuous at every x less than 0. And from the third we got it as the given function is continuous at x is equal to 0 itself. So if you see the number line, this is 0. For every less than 0 value, x c less than 0, less than 0, the function is continuous. C greater than 0, function is continuous. At 0 also, the function is continuous. So function is continuous in the entire domain, that is in the real number. So what you can conclude, modulus function is always a continuous function. So far we have studied about a constant function is continuous, then polynomial function is continuous, identity function is continuous. Now we have also proved that modulus function is also continuous. Okay, I hope this was clear. So we'll move on to the next. F of x is equal to x cube plus x square minus 1. So already since we know that this is a polynomial function, we know that it is a continuous function. Just we'll prove it. Okay, so what we have to do, just as I told you earlier, to check a function is continuous, you have to take a random element. So let C be a random element. Okay, you have to take a element C. So if it is true for C, then we can generalize that it is true for every other real. So let C be any real number. Okay, let C be any real number. Then what is f of c? F of c is c cube plus c square minus 1. Okay. Now you have to check whether f of c exists. Since c is a real number, it is a finite value. Cube of it is again a finite. Square of it is again finite. So when you do this addition and subtraction, again you'll get a finite number. So if it is a finite number, then f of c exists. Okay, f of c exists. What next you have to do? You have to find the limiting value. So limit of f of x as x tends to c. See, since here the function is defined in a same manner, it is not different for different values, it is defined uniformly. So you don't have to check for the left hand limit and right hand limit. Okay, so what happens? Limit x cube plus x square minus 1 as x tends to c. Since we have addition in the limiting value or the function, we have to split the limit. If we have limit f of x plus g of x, what we'll do? We'll find the individual limit and then we add it up. So limit of f of x plus limit of g of x. The same thing we have to apply here. So it is limit x cube as x tends to c plus limit x square as x tends to c minus limit 1 as x tends to c. So that is nothing but limit of x cube is c cube. It is a finite value. Limit of x square, you have to just apply the value of c. So it becomes c square. Then limit of constant is constant itself. So you can see that even this exists. This particular limiting value also exists. So the first and second condition is satisfied. And from 1 and 2 you can see that even the third condition is verified. So what is the third condition? Limit of f of x as x tends to c is equal to f of c. Okay. So since we have proved it for a random element c, it is true for the entire real number. That is, it is true in the entire domain. Okay. So this particular function is also continuous. Okay, so we'll stop here, students. We'll continue with some more questions in the next class. Till then, you just revise the definition of the continuity, and if you have any doubt, please let me know.